or that of its guest. Wade and Carter's the best radio program in the region. We appreciate you listening. Assumes. Because when you assume, you make an ass of you and me.
Texas gubernatorial candidate Lieutenant Colonel Alan West joins the show. Trouble in Haiti, brewing problems in Cuba. Italy wins. All that and more coming up on today's Wade and Carter Show.
That was just good. That right there, bam, bam, bam.
Let's go home. It's all downhill.
What's the weather today? It's about 78 out there right now. 78 to 90.
Maybe a pop-up shower.
Yeah. Your mic's on. Your mic was on.
Well, how are you this morning?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How was your weekend?
Excellent.
Good.
Excellent.
Good. Let's do this.
The Wade and Carter weather brought to you daily by the great folks at Deerland Feed. We're excited to represent them. They're excited to serve you. Get down there and get any type of fertilizer, seed, feed, tack, saddles, ropes, cattle prods, bug killers, weed killers. They've got it all. It's a wonderful place. It's like going back in time. They've been there 50 years, but it's an old gin. It's a great place to take a kid. I think if I was a little kid, I would just be like, wow, look at this place. Dad, look, a saddle.
The stuff on the plaques on the wall outside are kind of cool. It kind of lists the history of.
Just been there for years, like most of my life. Sad, that old.
You're that old.
78 degrees in Victoria. The weather rock says it feels like 85 already. Going to a high today of 90. It's going to be 90 and muggy, but, folks, only a slim 14% chance of any rain today. So probably like 3 inches.
Probably. That'll be it.
Expect localized flooding. If somebody spits, parts of Victoria are going to flood. The ground is so saturated. You little guys, don't be peeing outside. You're going to cause trouble downstream. There you go. There's the crowd.
Watch where you put it or you'll cause troubles upstream too.
Careful.
Scott Tomko, good morning. Karen Webb checking in. Bobby Leister, good morning to you. Chris Conrad.
David Brogger's
Mallory's in.
You know David Brogger's in.
Yep.
Of course, Judge Posey's in. Ash has a little sneezer there. Very rare. Consummate professional turns off his microphone.
H.R. Mallory, Scott Snow, Bobcat Watley's in. Rena Scherer, good morning.
We lost the
thermometer's down to 1,004. We lost one over the weekend, but Bobby's on it. He'll try to find him.
Rest in peace.
Matt Boucher, Roy Gutierrez, Marvin Mickish Jr., good morning. Justin Glass, Kerry Bump is in.
Gutierrez.
That's what I said. Judge Posey, good morning. Ricky King's in. Diane Tippett, Lisa Poole, Stephen Kidder.
Edis. Like E-D-E-Z, Edis.
Patrick Strauss, Randy Langston.
It's not Gutierrez. What are you like? You sound like John Travolta. Welcome back. Hey, Roy Gutierrez.
Adam Sugarton, Christina Wise, good morning. Vanessa Hicks Calloway checking in. David Glass, your Aunt Betty, good morning.
Hi, Aunt Betty. Aunt Betty's going to come see us.
Janelle Sarles, Sheriff Louderback, good morning, everybody. Good crowd.
Sheriff, welcome home. Sheriff spent some time in advanced training school. He instructs some guys, too, out in Arizona. Fantastic.
Junior Samples in. Steve Kidder says President Trump spoke at the Dallas CPAC. Just waiting for his reinstatement.
Right? Glenn Beck had a really highly rated and highly acclaimed stint at CPAC where he talked about the history of our nation. He brought us some things about. There was a guy, I want to say, I'm not making this up. I think the artist, I think his last name was Hooker. And it was a painting, an oil painting of a black woman with a white do-rag on, okay, with a sack, bent over, picking cotton. Another woman standing behind her, carrying a sack as well. And they both just had a reflective look, but the woman behind was actually white, and she was kind of looking off into the distance, and the black woman was bent over picking the cotton. And Glenn Beck pointed out how that, see, nobody would hang this in their home because it's racist. It shows the white person watching the black person picking cotton, yada, yada, yada. Well, the painting was actually done in 1915
Okay.
to commemorate 50 years of the Emancipation Proclamation and to emphasize how little had been accomplished at that point. The artist, back in the day, it was all the rage. They had talked about the fact that he depicted this and said, hey, there's still much work to be done. And the woman's face, she's reflective. She's looking forward. The other woman is still stooped over, down, depressed, held down. And Glenn Beck said anybody, the artist was an abolitionist, and that anybody that was, anti-slavery or pro-civil rights should be proud to own that painting. But now nobody would put it in their home because it depicts a black woman picking cotton. He said it's a shame.
Well, because the context has been absolutely lost and maybe morphed into a narrative that completely is 180 degrees from what the artist
right. It's not at all what he was intended.
Right? Yeah.
And it was like public knowledge at the time that, hey, here's the deal. Now, I don't do this very often, but I'm going to give a shout out to somebody, a lady that I met this weekend. Her name is Alma Garza. And Alma works at Strick's Barbershop right over here on Red River. Alma was at Las Palmas on Friday night. Our neighbors and Dawn's parents, we all went over there and we're sitting there having a good time. And I kept hearing somebody say, hey, Wade. And then I thought she was calling me Wade.
I wasn't there.
And then I thought she was calling me Wedo. But she called me Wade. And we got to chat and exchanged a couple of drinks. And she was a very, very nice lady. I told her, I said, you listen Monday. She said she listens to the show every day. Now, somehow she doesn't know that I'm Carter. She thinks that I'm Wade, but that's okay.
It's all right. We'll live with it.
Well, I'll take the compliment. Yeah. I'm sorry if I sullied your name with my activities.
Well,
but
you do that every day.
Super nice lady. And she said that I could come by Strick's Barbershop and she would shave me. Now, what if she just is luring me in there for the straight razor chop, the Italian necktie?
That's what happens sometimes.
It could happen.
Jeff Finley checking in.
T-Lat says she recognized my voice. Good morning, sweetheart.
Natalie Mayer, good morning.
There's Jeff Finley.
H.R. Mallory says Putin probably had YouTuber 1005 taken out.
Yeah.
How about the crazy stuff going on in Haiti? They killed the president, broke
Assassinated.
into his house, assassinated him.
Hurt his wife.
She made a statement yesterday, but now all of a sudden the interim government is asking the U.S. to send some military help. Is that something the U.S. wants to get involved in?
Probably not under Joe, maybe covertly under Biden, under Trump, but does Haiti have anything we need? Because sadly, our foreign policy is very limitedly based on morality and what's right. It's more based on an advantage for the U.S. I would say no. I would say we don't go to Haiti. I would say we probably tell them to stand down. And I thought this morning you were going to tell me that they were inviting us to come to Cuba and settle down that civil unrest, people protesting in the streets. The word I saw more than once was unprecedented protest against the communist regime there.
Well, I guess if you talk about protesting against the communists, then they're unprecedented. But wasn't there a whole bunch of civil unrest in the 50s that led to
all those people are dead
now? Yeah.
Those people are all dead. Fidel is gone. His brother is dead as well.
And I saw some videos online and thousands of people taking to the streets, and I was like, I questioned the thousands. It kind of looked to me
like a couple hundred leaving the bar.
Yeah. At the time, Italy had just beat England, and I think Brazil and Argentina had just played in the Copa Americas. So, it was the bars probably emptying following a full day of soccer is what it was.
Roy says, Haiti's got nothing unless you want dysentery for a month. Chris Conrad says, if you don't send troops, you're a racist. And Randy Lanston said he sees where the Taliban has taken over the bases we left in Afghanistan.
Yeah, I mean, nobody should be surprised by that, Randy. I mean, it was going to happen, and let's not forget. Former President Trump said he was taking all troops out of Afghanistan as well, and I don't believe he had a plan to leave a few, couple thousand, special forces types people behind either. I think he was getting everybody out of there as well.
Yeah. Did you see the other day when the bus rolled over with the prisoners in it?
Yeah.
You know who they called?
Of course.
Allen's Record Service. 578-6300. Allen righted that bus, got that thing towed to where it needed to be. Prisoners still in the box. 578-6300. If you need a tow, Allen's your guy. The VCS company.
Need to ride a vehicle, they can do it as well.
We had breakfast on Friday with J.R. Hartman, and he said all is well in the land of VCS.
Yep, and Jim Hartman just checked in. Good morning to you, sir.
Hello, sir. Mr. Hartman's as fine an individual as I've ever known. So if you need something done, if it needs communication, surveillance, security, you want 1080p camera capability on the front of your house or by a doorway, the Video Doorbell Pro, the Control 4, whatever you need, the VCS companies are your communication go-to. They can do things that you haven't even thought about yet. It's cool when you go in and talk to somebody and say, well, I'd like to maybe consider doing this. And they say, well, what if we made that rocket to a subwoofer?
That's so 19. Yeah. They look at you and go, that idea is so 1990s.
That's so 2015. We're past that. Chesnick Furniture been doing the same thing better than anybody for 101 years in downtown Victoria. 116 West Juan Lynn, the corner of Juan Lynn and Bridge. Bobby Leon and his family will help you make your house a home. Chesnick and Love make your house a home, and you just do better at Chesnick. Reach out to Bobby, go down, get a Wade and Carter deal on a best recliner, 50% off as they still celebrate over 100 years.
101 years now.
In downtown Victoria. Vera Cruz is back with a vengeance. We'll talk about the Astros in a minute, and you can bet that today will be a poppin' happy day at Vera Cruz after the Astros walk-off victory last night. Fantastic.
Yeah, that to me says, you know what, Major League Baseball, I don't think you need a run rule.
No.
Because I didn't watch it, but I talked to you yesterday afternoon. I talked to others who watched that ninth inning and got a sense that if the Astros needed to score 15 runs to come back to win it, they probably would have.
In the long ball era, so for those of you that didn't watch it, and if you let's say you just aren't a baseball fan, this game had everything for you. It had good pitching. It had bad pitching. The Astros walked 12 Yankees. And then in the bottom of the ninth inning.
And we're down 7-2 going into the ninth?
They get 6 straight hits to make it 7-5. And then there's an out. Maldonado hits a liner that gets caught. There's runners at first and third. Now Altuve just yanks one into the Crawford boxes. Astros win. 8-7. Now the Yankees, being the Yankees, had made some gestures. Aaron Judge had a home run the day before, kind of tugged at his jersey as if to suggest he was bringing up the myth that Jose Altuve had been wired in the ALCS a couple years ago. And when asked about it, he said, it was just a little cold in Minute Maid. I was just fixing my jersey. Well, Maldonado hit a home run, and he pulled his jersey down. After the game, he said, it was a little hot. I was just trying to get some air in there. When Altuve hit his home run, he came in, he's 5'6".
Yeah.
He throws his hat in the air, crosses himself, and jumps into the pile, and he disappears. And when they literally throw him back out of the pile, he's shirtless. So they pulled off his jersey and the wire.
And
while he was
at the same time. Yeah,
while he was there at home plate.
Of course.
But Astros win. They lead the division.
All-Star game tomorrow. What? Home run derby tonight? Is that right?
Is it that
right?
quick?
I think so.
How about for sure? These are the good old days, the glory days of the Houston Astros. Please enjoy this. Please embrace this. This can't last forever. This is like going back to 1990 through like 97 with the Dallas Cowboys. That's what this is like 30 years ago. So be aware that this cycles.
Yeah, home run derby tonight from Coors Field. This thing might not end till midnight or later. 3:30 in Newfoundland in the morning.
People were talking about trying maybe a different format. You get 10 outs. You mentioned it the other day, but that every guy can bring his own BP pitcher. That's fine. You got a guy you want throwing to you. And the guys that I see that do the best, hit one, take one, hit one, take one. They don't just go up there and just start hacking.
But I think the 10 outs is way too much.
Adam Dodgers in Yoakum. Good morning, sir. Thanks for the shout.
But it's almost gotten to a point, though, where the home run derby is a little bit more exciting than the All-Star game itself.
Yeah.
And I think the same thing with the NHL All-Star weekend as well. I think the skills competition is a little bit more fun to watch than the actual All-Star game because they've reduced it to a 3-on-3 kind of, you know,
I agree.
little tournament, and it's just not the same.
Well, I would think the skills competition, when you watch these hockey players and the amazing things they can do, I mean, literally, I'm making it up, but I can see a guy flipping it up and bouncing a puck on his stick and then throwing it up in the air and hitting it. And they're all tremendously gifted athletes.
But
we're excited about Alan West is going to call in. You may recall a couple of weeks ago, just 2 weeks ago, Ash and I pressured Lieutenant Colonel West to admit it, that you're going to run for office. And, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. And he's now going to run for governor.
yeah, we were thinking lieutenant governor.
We were thinking lieutenant governor. Yeah.
But he trumped us.
Yeah,
No pun intended.
No pun intended. Yeah. We had Don Huffines on Friday, I guess.
What do you make of Donald Trump? Were his rallies and appearances just to sort of bring awareness and sort of like a the warm-up tour to the CPAC? Or is something more at play here and he's gearing up for 2024?
I don't think he knows. I think he's gauging interest, which is still very intense. People are still very keyed on everything he says. But, I mean, of course, I was going to say, if you were him, would you run again? If you were him, you probably would. I mean, he's Donald Trump. What else has he got to do? You know the one we haven't heard a word about? Not one word from, about, no pictures, nothing about Melania since he left office. I don't know if she's enjoying her privacy or her cabana boy at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, I don't know. No idea. Peter McNally says there were guns found at a hotel near the All-Star game or nearest Coors Field, and according to the FBI, people were arrested. They faced some illegal weapons charges, but they don't believe there was any threat to the upcoming Major League Baseball All-Star game. So there you go.
Lee Cantu says, I wanted to say thank y'all for the support during the City Council special election. Awesome job, Mr. Cantu. You're certainly welcome, sir. It was great to spend time with you. We applaud you for getting involved in the system, and thank you for allowing Wade and Carter to have you on.
I think
we appreciate it.
I know we've got a runoff with Chad Hall and Dwayne Crocker, but I do think that our all five candidates and the three that didn't win had ideas that certainly can be
absolutely
and should be explored by City Council as a whole as ways to maybe make City Council function better and Victoria a better city going forward. So, I don't look at the process as being wasted because I think you, Aaron, and Joe all brought things to the table that needed to be exposed, and not that they were bad, and also brought some ideas that I think can help Victoria move forward. So we thank you for that.
You almost want whoever wins this runoff to be like the spokesperson, and those five guys to be like a subcommittee that meets about the needs of District 3, right? And then the mouthpiece brings it to the group.
Almost could be, yeah.
Steve Kidder, who's rarely wrong, says, hey, Trump will announce for 2024 after the midterms. Good morning, Jim Simpson. Hope you're doing well. Mr. McNally, good morning, sir.
So 3 men and a woman arrested on guns charges at the Maven Hotel about a block from Coors Field. That just doesn't sound like a legit hotel,
The
does it?
Maven
Yeah.
sounds like a brothel.
Sounds like one of those motor inns where they're always raiding and finding a meth lab with the kitchen in the kitchenette.
With the hot plate.
Yeah.
You know you're staying in a nice place when it says free HBO and a new hot plate.
Exactly.
By the way, so T-Lat the other
Free
day.
local calls.
Well, T-Lat wanted to go next weekend over to San Marcos and float the river. Just spend one night, float the river. San Marcos in the summer, no college going on. You got any idea what a room costs over there right now?
Since you phrased it like that, I'm going to guess
it's not good.
I'm going to guess $225 a night.
I think you're low. I think that honestly, that's a La Quinta.
Okay.
$225 a night, folks. I mean, for $225, I'll drive home. It's an hour.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. You won't spend that in gas.
Pay me $225, I'll drive home. But I was just thinking, if you could go over there and it's off season and there's no football and there's no kids in town, really, not percentage wise, there's not. You would think you could get a one night deal at a Hampton Inn for $100. I'd pay $100 not to drive home, but it was by the time they do. By the way, San Marcos puts in taxes and fees like big cities, so your $250 a night room was like $630 for 2 nights.
Yeah,
come
crazy.
on, man.
We don't do this, but if we did, I would be willing to, and proud to offer happy 50th birthday to Craig Simpson, who just checked in. But we don't do that on this show.
No, we would never do
Never
that,
do a
Simpy.
birthday.
We would never say, "Hey, happy birthday, buddy." That's just
Never. It's just not us.
Doesn't it sound silly coming from us? Happy birthday, Craig. But happy birthday, if we did it. Yeah. I think some people still don't get it, that's all kind of a bit.
Yeah,
They're rude. They don't even tell people happy birthday. The joke is that Brother Gary and Ralph Salazar spend half their show going, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday.
Tom Price, good morning to you. Italy beat England on penalty kicks to win the European Cup.
So, help me out because I'm not a soccer guy.
England scored early.
Right.
And then they brought everybody back to their side of midfield and tried to defend the rest of the game. It was basically how it worked. And I posted early that,
the goalie too?
Well, of course the goalie's back there.
Okay.
But basically, it was soccer's version of the NFL's what I call prevent the win defense.
We
right?
always say prevent defense prevents you from winning.
That's exactly what happened. And England ended up, I think, in the 69th minute or something, Italy tied it, and then they won it on penalty kicks. A couple of guys that England substituted simply because of their prowess to make penalty kicks.
Right.
One guy hit the post, the other guy telegraphed it, and the keeper made a save for Italy.
See, my deal would be maybe soccer needs to institute the 2-point goal. Like if you shoot from further out, it's 2 points.
It doesn't happen often.
Well, I don't understand. We are trying to speed up a baseball game.
I think soccer should get rid of the offside rule. Personally, that would make it more exciting. People are confused by hockey's offside. Soccer's offside is way more subjective.
So wait, offside is in hockey is when a player crosses the blue line before the puck.
Yes.
That means you can't. There is no snowbird fast break where we're down here. Send Billy on down the ice and we'll shoot him the puck and let him play one-on-one with the goalie, right? You can't do that.
No.
Okay. But in soccer, is it the same thing?
No, it's you basically can't be ahead of the last defender, not including the keeper, before the ball. So.
Steve Kidder says they're remaking My Left Foot with Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
What did he do? Like plant his foot and his leg snap?
Yeah, something like that. It was a pay-per-view, so all I could do is read about it. Broke his ankle apparently, but anybody who, is the UFC turning into what boxing was in the 90s when Mike Tyson would fight? You'd expect the fight to be over in the first round. This one, again, I believe, was over in the first round. But all the hype around this McGregor and what's the other guy's name? Poirier, yeah. It was their third match, a bunch of hype, and over before it even really got going, from what I understand.
Dawn said that reminds her of our honeymoon.
A lot of hype.
A lot of hype.
Yeah.
It was over really quickly.
Chris Conrad says they need to go back to the golden goal in overtime. Yeah, I agree. They played 2 halves and they just didn't accomplish anything. And it was kind of, I think each team may have had one decent chance in overtime. But I tell you what, though, if not for Pickford, the keeper for England, Italy wins that game probably 4 or 5-1. It doesn't even go to PKs.
Chris Conrad sums it up. His high kick was blocked by an elbow, which broke his ankle. Well, here we are. We're trying to speed up baseball games. And just as soon as we start saying, well, in extra innings, we're going to put a man on second, then the next thing you know, now we're checking the pitcher after every inning, which slows the game down. And baseball is still a ton faster than soccer. 90 minutes to get a 1-1 tie and then win on penalty kicks? Come on. You trying to get Alan West? Is he having difficulties?
I don't know. I don't think so. I'm just making sure.
The thing is, problems.
I mean, the thing is with soccer, it's still 90 minutes. I mean, rarely. I mean, a lot of games don't go to overtime. So I mean, it's almost the ideal sport for this generation because you're not sitting around for 3+ hours waiting for a game to end.
Right.
But I just, and I was kind of looking online to see how the McGregor fight was going to end, and it was like over before I thought I was going to tune in and be, heading to the second round. Nope. Done. Over. And I'm like, and at first I was like, okay, because I didn't see anything on it. And I'm not a big MMA guy or UFC guy, but McGregor kind of transcends that sport a little bit.
You're a wrestling guy. You like the athletes.
I did back in the day, and
tough guys.
Yeah, the real fighters.
The real guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was a boxing guy, but
so Ash had a deal back when he was doing radio, like in Canada. I'm making this up. It's my story. Ash was doing radio, and he had a deal where he got to basically get in the ring with a wrestling guy.
Yes.
So he goes
famous surname.
So it was
by blood somehow.
One of the Harts, right? Who was it?
Von Erich.
One of the Von Erichs. So Ash goes in there, and the guy goes, "Look, man, we're going to do this little bounce. I'm going to pick you up, and then we're going to fall. And if you just fall like this, it won't hurt you a bit. It's not going to hurt you at all."
And it didn't. Through all the rehearsals in the afternoon, it was fine.
Hit the ground first, but then Ash goes, he's looking at me, and he's serious, y'all. And he goes, "Oh." But in the event, I guess I got a little hyped, kind of torqued my back a little bit. Tell me what happened.
Well, I don't know if it was me or probably was me.
Probably wasn't Von Erich.
No, probably not.
He'd done it a few thousand times.
Just a few thousand. So he goes up to suplex me, and somehow on the way down, we get twisted, and my feet don't hit first. Straight to the hip.
And what happened?
Oh, I just hurt.
But you didn't admit it, right?
Well, you couldn't. You got to play it.
Did you bounce right up?
Oh, yeah. I was a lot younger then, too.
Now you just lay there.
I probably would have laid there
until like Dr. Followell, Dr. Mady came to check on you with your bad hip.
But I probably hurt for 3 weeks. That mat is not soft.
No, but it's like plywood, right?
And a little bit of canvas on top.
It's supposed to give a little, though. It makes a great racket.
It makes a great noise, yeah. And those ropes aren't exactly soft. They're hard cables.
Right.
It takes a lot of force to actually bend those
into things. The turnbuckle. Did he bang you into the turnbuckle?
I don't think I got into the turnbuckle. I believe the ropes a couple times.
Right. Stuart Martin says Dr. Kevorkian come in and put him down.
Randy Langston says he hears titanium hips are in fast.
They are. Yeah. Last forever. Where is Alan West?
Trying to see.
I would figure, why don't you call that guy? Let's just get him and say, hey, where are you at? Let's talk.
I texted him. He's not up there, I'm guessing. Well, we'll take a break. We'll go on.
We're going to go on with the show? Okay.
People are asking Cheryl if there's any video evidence of my match.
Folks, if you want video evidence of saving money, reach out to Terry Murray at Motto Mortgage, 541-5454. Terry will get your information. She will shop the mortgage market for you. If she doesn't save you any money, it doesn't cost you nothing. It's like me quoting your insurance. If I'm not the winner, I just spent my time. That's how certain she is that she can save you money. If you've been in your current home more than 4 or 5 years, if your interest rate's over 3, which is cheap, reach out to Terry Murray and let her shop it. All the interest is just going away.
Yeah.
You might as well keep the same payment, pay your house off quicker, or take some money out, refinance the whole thing. As we were talking the other day, you're never going to own your home anyway, so why not?
So you may be able to do all that and even lower your payment.
That's right. Went services for generators, solar panels, plumbing, electrical work, anything. New homes, remodels, fat kids, skinny kids, kids climbing rocks. Reach out to Wind Services. They can help you with everything to do with power generation. You need a generator? They've got it. And you need one. USA Concrete Coatings, Charlie Garcia, 578 Home.
Give them a call today. If you've got, I mean, now that the weather's nice
Today,
because today the weather's nice today. Don't wait till tomorrow when it goes, we got a good chance of rain again. Today, call them today.
right.
And it's probably dry enough for them to come take a look at your project, give you an estimate. And when it's all said and done, in most jobs,
One day.
they'll get it done. They'll start in the morning. By evening, you'll have a nice new concrete surface that you can enjoy.
And then the Gray Barn, Cheryl can make your next party memorable. 920-6803. There's that prison bus or the YMCA bus. I can't be certain.
Can't tell which one.
There's a trail car, FBI following it. Reach out to Cheryl, 920-6803. She'll make your next party memorable. Bobcat Wally says, hats off to climbing into the ring with the Von Erich anyway. I agree with that. Was he a big dude? Was he one of the lesser Von Erichs?
I don't think the Von Erichs were very tall to begin with, but he was pretty buff.
You don't think he was on some type of supplements?
I don't think he was, no.
No, he's just big and
He
strong.
was just a buff guy in shape.
Put you in the suit.
He had that hairband hair going for him too.
What if he'd have put you in the pile driver?
Yeah, that one. I'm glad I didn't and had that one go wrong.
But imagine any time that you're a guy that weighs 240 pounds and another 240-pound guy gets you up where your head's at chest high and he drops you on your head. I mean, if you just land wrong, you could snap your neck. Oh, it was an accident. My hands were sweaty. Sorry, Bill.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he's doing the Christopher Reeve out there.
Yeah.
It's a bad deal. That's
There's
why
that can go wrong.
wrestling's real,
Yeah,
people.
there's a lot that can
Ask
go wrong.
Ash.
Yeah. The outcomes are predetermined.
But the violence, whew, shoosh.
I mean, that blood isn't, well, maybe it is fake now. It never used to be.
Sorry, I cut your forehead.
They used, I mean, no.
Now they check you. They check your
Check you for
waistband
foreign
to see if you've
substances,
got
yeah.
a foreign substance to cut your forehead.
in between moves, slow the
Right.
game down.
I like tag team matches. I like when The Rock used to come in from like out of nowhere and then like punch McMahon. Vince McMahon, did he start out wrestling?
I don't know.
He's
if
a
he
big
did.
man.
Yeah, he is a big guy. I don't know if he ever did.
Are you folks aware that we're just filling time waiting on Alan?
No, we got lots to talk about without him.
Bring it up. Tell us something.
Did you watch any of President Trump at CPAC?
No, I did not.
Good, me either. So we'll go back and check into that and bring some of that back tomorrow. But Michael Avenatti, we didn't get to this on Friday.
This is the guy that was Stormy Daniels' lawyer.
Creepy porn lawyer, I think, is what Tucker Carlson called him.
And he said that Donald Trump was going to jail. Remember that? He's going to prison.
And just don't forget either, this is the guy that CNN and others on the left thought might have been presidential material. This is how good their judgment is. He was most famous for being Stormy Daniels' attorney against Donald Trump. Apparently got into a little cash trouble when a case that he had won got overturned and he'd already spent all his money, or at least, enough lines of credit that he was in trouble, and then tried to fabricate some evidence and what's the word? And basically blackmail Nike into paying him $25 million, right?
They call that extortion, right?
Yeah. So now he's going to serve what, two and a half? Forget white privilege here. This is Hollywood privilege. This is Orange Man bad privilege. Here's a guy that tried to extort Nike of $25 million, and he's going to prison for what, 2.5 years?
Yeah.
Come on.
He may not make it.
Oh, he'll make it because he's going to go sit in Club Fed somewhere. But you put all those pieces together and you only get 2.5 years. That speaks of attorney privilege, not anything else to me.
Exactly.
That ain't going to teach him a lesson, although I guess he did get it. I guess he's still got some legal troubles elsewhere, but whatever.
Yeah, and when he gets out, he can't practice law.
No.
Of course, he can write a book.
And then, yeah, that's probably what he'll do.
He'll write a book in 2.5 years in
My
prison.
Stormy Life.
My Stormy Life.
Randy Langston says it's always deep pockets privilege.
Yeah. Avenatti.
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 Yeah. And we didn't get to this last week either. Joe Biden last week, it almost snuck through, and then somebody found it. And Jen Psaki was saying that they're going to start a door-to-door campaign for vaccinations. And kind of great. Okay, are you going door-to-door to vaccinate people, or are you just going door-to-door to raise awareness?
What if you say, I've had it, and you haven't? I mean, do you have to go to prove?
Well, yeah, those are some of the questions.
Your papers.
When, depending on the estimates, 70% of the country has had
at least one.
Why would the government waste a bunch of money going door to door?
It's what the government does. They waste money.
So and I'm just kind of trying to talk this through because the details have not been presented at all that I can find. So you're going to send out an army of paid employees, temporary or otherwise, probably go back to all your census workers who are out of work now the census is over,
and get them to start
get them to start going door to door to, discuss the vaccination, if nothing else.
Because the Democrats believe that black people are too dumb to turn on their computer. That's one thing.
Or don't go to the CVS or the Walmart or the Ready.
They won't go. They just won't go because they're afraid they're going to be hassled if they go there. That's what the Biden administration says. Isn't that crazy talk in 2021?
But if somehow they just target those that haven't been vaccinated, would it not be a violation of HIPAA for them to get their hands on that information?
Yeah, but they're the government. They don't have to adhere to the rules they make. Right?
That's I guess.
They make the rules, but they don't have to adhere to those. Good morning, Judge Posey. I know you're out there. I didn't see your name this morning. He's probably listening on YouTube.
And then just for those keeping track of such things, the vaccination has still not been given approval.
Yeah, Kelly Frommy says they might just casually ask you how many guns you have in your house. Yeah, no kidding. I wonder if they're going to show up prepared to give you the vaccine if you want it. And then what happens if
I
you
wouldn't
find
be
out
surprised
later?
if somebody's sitting in the refrigerator van, or they've got the deep freeze in the back of the truck like those guys that come around selling steaks and seafood. Yeah.
That's nice. That'd be so. Give you the vaccine for free. Hey, how would you like some hamburger meat for $5 a pound? You got to wonder though if ne'er-do-wells might decide to go around like they're vaccinating people and shoot you full of something else. You never know.
Well, I heard a report this morning that there's rumblings in the Pentagon that they may be talking dishonorable discharges or possibly even court-martial, depending on rank, for those who are enlisted in the military and refuse to get the vaccination.
Now, folks, the problem with that is,
and
it's just a violation of your civil liberties. I mean, you just don't. I get it.
Well, the Army and the armed forces already shoot you up with a bunch of vaccines anyway.
Sure.
And let's be honest, they've been the test babies for a lot of vaccines and shots over the years. Our armed forces have, knowingly and unknowingly.
Buddy told me the other day that by the time you're 3 years old, you've already been given 23 different, just diphtheria, tetanus. You've been given all this stuff against your will, basically, as a baby. So why is it such a big deal?
Bob Watley says they'll be disguised as the Avon.
Right. I'd like to leave you this pamphlet. Yeah, take that. Ha ha. Gotcha.
Exactly.
If they could make the vaccine oral, I think everybody would take it.
Good morning, Wade and Carter. Hey, good morning. What's up?
Hey, I'm going to take reference to that dishonorable discharge and stuff in the military. I
Yep.
think it happened for a second. Was it late 1999? They came out with the military and had to get the anthrax shot.
Yep.
It was something that was really, really new. And they were forcing people, they were court-martial, stuff like that. And coming down to it, the CNO, which was chief naval operations, the head guy, never took it. But they were forcing people out and forcing them on that kind of discharge if they weren't getting shot.
So it's not an unprecedented move, I guess, if the Biden administration did this. Junior Sample says he refused the anthrax.
Yeah, I mean, got to a point where, like, was it early 2000s? It started getting to a point where it started making the news, and once it started making the news, and that's when they were starting to pull back on, caps and families, and stuff like that. And it got to a point where the only people that were only getting it is if they were going in a combat zone, or like they were going in something that was, like the Middle East or Iraq, stuff like that. As soon as that came around, they started giving off to those people instead of giving it to people that were just deployed.
Ricky King said when he was in the military, you walked down the line and got shots, you didn't even know what they were. Craig Simpson says Anthrax, great band.
Daniel White says he took 4 doses of the anthrax vaccine. He can count it all of the side effects on all 3 of his hands. There
Right.
you go.
Yeah, I think it was like 3 or 4 doses that you have to get.
Yep.
Before you get there, but yeah, they might go up and boot camp and they shot you all kinds of stuff. I mean, if they put you in a gauntlet and they just light you up for whenever they decide they want to do this.
That's where Daniel White's kid has 20/20 vision with those 3 eyes
Exactly.
he's got.
Well, thanks, Adam. Appreciate it.
Adam, thanks for calling in.
For bringing that to light. Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Adam's like, I've got no side facts. No side facts.
So I guess not unprecedented territory for the Biden
Thomas
administration.
Dolby. Side. Remember that?
Almost lost in the shuffle yesterday, sports-wise, was Novak Djokovic winning his 20th major and another Wimbledon title.
Yeah, and
I think he's only won 3 U.S. Opens in that group of 20. Which, when I look back, Federer hasn't won very many U.S. Opens. Rafael Nadal has won most of his on clay.
Hard court. It's
but
hot.
it's that might be the hardest one to win multiple times. I mean, I think this is the 7th Wimbledon title for Djokovic, and he's won a bunch of Australian Opens.
They were talking about a
as well.
golden Grand Slam. Is that where you have 4 of each? Because he's only got 3 U.S. Opens, right?
Yeah.
And he's got at least 4.
I think he's won at least 2. Well, I guess he's won 3 of everything. I think he's got 3 U.S. Opens. Maybe he's got 4. I don't know. But he's the only guy to win the career Masters twice, which are like, I think 8 or 9 other big tournaments outside of the 4 majors. Nobody else has won those nobody else has won all of those twice. So
Not even Federer?
no. Yeah, looking back, I think Jimmy Connors still holds the all-time record of most titles. Like overall,
he would win like the 7-Eleven Open and scrape.
Well, but that's the way it
Those
was.
guys had to travel. If you won, you made $50.
Yeah.
If you didn't, you just starved that week.
Yeah. So,
I wonder where Jimmy Connors is today.
but Djokovic dropped the first set, then won 3 straight, and I tell you what, it's a pretty impressive performance.
What is? Look up Jimmy Connors on your computer there. What is he, about 72 probably?
It's a good question.
It's a good question.
I'm sure he's still playing the odd.
You guys remember watching Jimmy Connors play with that big Wilson T1200 or whatever?
Would it have been the 92 or 93 U.S. Open where
he was older
and came back, and I think made it at least to the semis, if I'm not mistaken.
And that was 30 years ago. He's got to be 70 years
68
old.
now.
68 years old.
Put it in perspective, he won 8 Grand Slams.
Wow.
Djokovic has won 20.
Wow. But Djokovic never dated Chrissy Everett.
No.
There you have it. There's the difference.
There is the difference.
There's the difference.
Speaking of difference, Atzenoffer can make all the difference in your car-buying experience.
Really?
Really?
You threw that on a Monday?
On a Monday.
Atzenoffer's
Seven
cars
a
are all
week.
made Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. They don't want you hungover on Monday. They don't want you being lazy on Friday. Their cars are made on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. They're stacking them deep, selling them cheap. They're just down the road from higher prices.
Right there in the Nevada Motor Mile.
Everybody drives a used car. Selling cars like candy bars. Those are all the Tommy Taylorisms that we get. I'm like, Tommy, help us sell your products. Tell him we're selling cars like candy bars. He's like cooperation. He's a rebel, that kid. But Atzenoffer since 1926, quite simply, Victoria's dealership. There's nobody close
Nobody.
there.
And you can always shop at atzenoffer.com as well.
White Trash Services, 550-1826. If you're in the 7-county region or Las Vegas, Reno, Nevada, Carlsbad now.
And I think BJ might be working on expansion to Florida.
Oh, she's going that direction as well.
So,
550-1826. They'll bring you a roll-off dumpster for a big project. If you have a charity event coming up and you want to raise money by picking up trash somewhere, call them. Run it by the Nelsons. They're great folks. They're always giving back to our community, and they should be.
BJ's got a lot of marketing ideas.
They
as
should
well,
be our
so.
trash collection service. Razor IT Solutions, JP Hull has been swamped, but he's got time for you. Reach out to John Paul, let him and his team analyze your analytics, help you understand your data, help you encrypt it, save it, help your Facebook page interact with your QuickBooks so you can collect money for a project, or if you're selling something on the internet, he can help you with that. Most importantly, let him help you not get sued by violating or giving out somebody's credit card info.
There you go. And
If that happens,
Stephen Kidder's the one to call.
call the law offices of Stephen Kidder. I talked to Stephen last week late, and he said, tell you hi.
I think he checked in already.
Yeah,
This
he
morning
has.
as well.
And he was doing great. He said he's super busy. And I asked him, because he was in a T-shirt, like a Grateful Dead T-shirt or something. He said, no,
Was that back when he was their roadie?
I think he played some harmonica as well. But he was working
He
in
was
the
their
office,
bat boy?
and he said, I keep several changes of clothes in my office because you never know when somebody's going to call, and you've got to get over there. Pro bono work, or somebody calls and you got to help them get out of jail.
Remember when the Grateful Dead sponsored Lithuania's basketball uniforms for the, what was it, 92
Was it like
Olympics?
tie-dyed?
Yeah, remember that?
Very cool. Hey, brother man.
It just became like their own country following the collapse of the Soviet Union, and they had
Very cool.
they had no money for uniform, and then they go and get the bronze medal.
That's
how
very
good they
cool.
were.
With Manu Ginobili.
I think all the Argentina close.
Right.
But I think like 4 of their 5 starters ended up playing in the NBA. They were legit.
Oh, yeah.
And they had those tie-dye uniforms.
And then right now, Complete 360, that's where Lithuania would eat if they were in town. They'd get them a smoothie or a bowl. They'd get them a wrap or a panini at lunch. The health bar is right here on Red River, right between Ben Jordan and Laurent, right next to Woodlawn Bowl. Or you can go up north to the Buffalo Wild Wings alternative. They're right down the parking lot for Buffalo Wild Wings.
Five doors down.
Go in there and get you a smoothie, supplements. They have all kinds of great healthy snacks. T-Lat likes these chips called Quest that are, I think they're baked, not fried,
Yeah,
but they
they're
have
kind of like
flavor.
sun chips or something.
Yeah,
they're
they've got
pretty
good flavor. She likes them. Oh, don't act
Cheryl
like
eats
you,
them too.
I was going to say, don't act like you've been in there being all healthy.
I don't. Cheryl brings it home. I try it. I'm like, yeah, it's all
Yeah,
right.
it's pretty good. There you go. Well, that's all our ads for the day.
Yeah.
Are we gonna get like free tickets to give away for the governor's ball?
I guess so. We need to now. New band, 5 doors down.
Right?
That was 3 doors down, but now that they're a couple of generations beyond
Yeah,
that. Yeah. So
I saw one last night. This guy said, man, the nerve of my neighbor. He was beating on my wall at 4:20 in the morning. I couldn't believe it. He goes, fortunately, I was still up listening to music. I think Steve Kidder put that on there. Pretty funny. You think about it. Some people have that kind of logic. Why is this guy beating on my wall? Turn the music up so I don't have to hear him.
did you happen to watch Richard Branson and his flight to suborbital space?
In the airplane, right? How did that go?
They went up and they made it back. Here, the interesting thing on this, I believe he took 5 employees with him. And I read a report that they didn't volunteer. They basically, you're coming with me. They had no choice in the matter. That's how benevolent Richard Branson is.
If they die, is that work comp?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. I'm going to take 5 of you guys up with me because if I go, we're all going.
Simpson throwing around some leverage on his birthday. 3 doors down sucks.
Yeah, he's a big fan. But he likes it a little harder and heavier than that. He's more into the thrash stuff. So Slayer, Pantera.
James Curtis says Steve Kidder's the backup harmonica player for Blues Traveler.
But when looking at Richard Branson's rocket ship, for lack of a better word, I don't know. All I can think about, this thing's a recycled World War II bomber.
Is that what it looks like?
That's what it looked like to me.
Man. What is
and then we wonder why we can't make
crashes?
any advances into outer space travel, because we're still flying things that look like World War II planes. Or you've got Jeff Bezos and his very phallic-looking rocket.
You know, someday we're going to look around and we know that the Earth is blanketed with a magnetic field. And we know how that you've all done it where the magnets repel each other. You know, someday we're going to corner the science or the physics that allow us to basically fly based on magnetics.
You think? Well, we use it for trains, right?
Right. I think it'll happen. I've seen some really compelling UFO footage lately that my brain immediately says, wow, those kids are really good, you know, making that look like it's real. You know what I'm saying? That because when we were kids, what ruined it was, you know, there was like a paper plate and, you know, you could see the string and like, oh, yeah, that's a UFO.
Yeah.
That's a paper plate, Mom. You still see the pie stain on it.
Well, I mean, watching some of those naval videos of things that just fall into the ocean and never, I mean, there's no ripple, no nothing. It's crazy.
Right. James Kerr says, right. Well, since the Earth is flat,
it's a flat magnet, right? Yeah.
Right.
You know, the thing with Richard Branson and Bezos and their I mean, I watched it just because I wanted to see what was going on, but it just doesn't hold the allure and the excitement of the space shuttle first missions. You know, I'm not as old as you, but you probably remember all the Apollo missions because you were like, you know,
they're not
applied to fly
anywhere. They're going to go up and go around the Earth and come back. When I was a little guy at Smith Elementary, every boy there either wanted to be like Mickey Mantle or they wanted to be an astronaut. Yeah, everybody wanted. They were heroes. When was the last time we even had a ticker tape parade in New York? Think about it. Nobody gets excited about anything. There are no heroes left.
Ricky King says, Ash, you just wanted to see him crash. Yeah, it was kind of like watching NASCAR.
It's like NASCAR. You want to put like a number on it, the number 34, Virgin Air rocket ship.
Randy Langston asked, wasn't Branson on Epstein's airline? No, I think Branson flew. I think his airline was probably Epstein's plane.
James Kurt, that's a true story right there. He says Brent was a little guy watching Bill Posey retrieve the space capsules from the ocean. That's true. I saw that live, Bill Posey, before I knew Bill Posey. And, I mean, we say it here all the time, but Bill Posey was an American hero. He's the real deal. Jumped out of a helicopter and pulled the astronauts out of that capsule.
But I guess that's my point. Other than the fact that these are two private businessmen who are now doing this.
And to what end game? Where are they going to take you?
Money. It's all about money. They want to take space tourism. That's what they're calling this.
It's the dumbest thing ever.
They want to take people. Well, Branson, what? 600 people have paid $250,000 to be amongst the first to fly into space.
Yeah, my granddad went
back in the day. If you wanted to do that, you signed up for the Air Force or NASA
or Space Force now.
You know, you didn't just take the easy way out and pay $250 and go.
And there's bound to be a multi-page contract where you cede over any responsibility. Anything that happens is not their fault.
No, he's not going to lose his fortune because whatever.
Is he going to be on the flight? I'd
because
feel better
Virgin
if he was on
Galactic
the flight.
flies?
I'd feel better if he was on the flight with me.
Should he be like Orville and Virgil and Orville, right? Just fly every flight until
Just put him on the wing.
walk the wing out
Yeah,
there.
he could do it.
But this stuff just doesn't hold the allure. I mean, we've talked about it now for 10 minutes, but
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
not
think
interesting at all. That's why we've talked
but I
about
don't think
it.
I don't think it captures the imagination and the spirit of Americans like the original space flights did.
Well, look at the fact that people went crazy, right, for Lindbergh flying from New York to Western Europe.
Yeah.
Where did you fly to? London?
Paris, I think.
Paris? Yes, thank you. And, wow, that it can be done. It can be done. We can get mail across the Atlantic without it taking a month. That was the big deal. To what end? What are we going to accomplish by having, except that you can just get like a little Super Bowl ring that says you went into outer space? I have a feeling if they do this enough times, somebody's going to get hurt.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Randy Langston says when you start setting up igloos on the moon, then maybe.
Right?
God, I hope humans don't colonize the moon or Mars in my lifetime. We've wrecked enough stuff on Earth. We don't need to start wrecking things in space. Scott Tomko says, drive them all through Houston's Fifth Ward tonight and see if they can get back alive. That's something he'd watch.
Right. What did James Kerr say? We've got to have a space force.
Must have a space force to protect the great citizens of Earth in suborbital flight.
Yep.
So, well, we'll work on Alan West, and I'm not sure exactly what happened with.
But it'll give us great
there.
leverage
Yeah.
with Lieutenant Colonel West because we joke about the fact that he's always on time. I mean, he is the guy that says, if you're on time, you're late. If you're late, you're left behind. I mean, he's that guy. Early is the new on time. We love Lieutenant Colonel Alan West.
Monday, 7:30 will work. Okay, let's lock it in. I mean, it's there. I'm reading the text.
Ash is talking to the handler, who, by the way, may be unemployed. I don't know. You never can tell. The colonel may have had something come up. Certainly nothing more important than Wayne Carter. We absolutely, aside from the military and his parents, we've done the most for him, right?
I think so.
I think so. Folks, we're going to get out of here. Stay tuned to Magic 95.9.
Ralph Salazar, the Hall of Famer, and the
Brother
man
Gary
who
Moses.
needs no Hall of Fame because he is the Hall of Fame.
Right?
Brother Gary Moses.
The walking Hall of Fame. Now, let's just see that. They're just telling us to get off the air.
Yeah, so we'll get off the air. All right.
All right. We love you. Bye, folks.
Bye, folks.